Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1AAuto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20 plus years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the front hub on this 97 DeVille, same as any 97 to 99 DeVille. Tools you'll need are jack and jack stands, 15 and 19 millimeter sockets with ratchet and extension, a breaker bar or a pipe for some extra leverage on some of those tougher bolts, a 13 millimeter 3/8 drive socket with a ratchet and extension, a large 34 millimeter socket, a large hammer, and a flat blade screwdriver. Okay, use a screwdriver. I like to use a rag so I don't scratch the wheel or the center cap. Right underneath there. Okay, these lug nuts are 19 millimeter. If you don't have the benefit of air tools, you'll want to start with the wheel on the ground, loosen the lug nuts, then raise and secure the vehicle and remove the lug nuts the rest of the way. Also at this point, since we're doing the hub, if you don't have access to air tools with the vehicle on the ground, you're going to want to use your breaker bar and your 34 millimeter socket to loosen up that center hub nut. Okay, now with your wheel turned, you can see right inside here, you can see that little hole in the brake pad. That is actually a wear indicator. So it would indicate that on this brake pad you're in good shape. And then if you look at your outer pad, we can see that there's still some pretty good life left in it. And then you want to make sure you check both sides, because sometimes you can have one side that's not worn and the other side can be more worn. Our brakes are fine. I have checked both sides, but I am going to take them apart and put them back together just to show you how to do it. So the next thing you want to do is remove these two bolts here, which releases your caliper. These two bolts are 15 millimeter. They should just come apart pretty easily. Okay, and we'll speed it up here as we take out those bolts. Okay, you'll make sure that before you put these back together that these pins are nice and clean and they have a little bit of grease on them, and these look very good. Using my wrench here to kind of pry my caliper off. Okay. Let me just put the caliper up here out of the way. Okay, so there's our inner pad again, our outer pad. You can see the wear mark there. They still got some good life on them. Not a ton of miles, but definitely don't need to replace them yet. But if you did want to replace them, you can just pull your pads right out like that. Okay, now your rotors. And on this vehicle, well, most vehicles what you want to do is take your back of your fingernail, kind of run along the rotors, feel for any deep grooves or gouges, and then just kind of inspect the condition of the rotors. And these look absolutely fine. If you feel any grooves or there's too much rust or corrosion, or your rotors look thin, then you do want to replace them. To remove and replace the rotors, there's 2 large bolts here and here. These bolts are 15 millimeters as well. So what I have here is my my ratchet, and I'm going to use a piece of pipe. Okay, the pipe goes on there, gives me some extra leverage, and I'll push slowly down on the pipe. I can feel the bolts start to break loose. On top here, I'm going to use a short extension. A piece of pipe again. Just easy pressure until the bolt starts to break loose. And then once that bracket's off, the rotor simply comes right off. Okay, to remove the hub, there are 3 bolts. See one here, one up in there, and one around the other side. Okay, what you want to do is use some penetrant, spray the back sides of those bolts, and let it sit for a while. Okay, while it's sitting, we're going to remove our hub nut. It's 34 millimeter. If you don't have an impact tool, what you need to do is loosen this while your tire is still on the ground. And you do that with a big breaker bar in your pipe probably. But since I have impact tool, it will come right off. You want to make sure your axle is free of your hub. And generally you don't want to just bang on this thing repeatedly. But what I usually do is just give it one good wrap and watch the axle in relation to the hub. And if the axle moves, that means it's nice and free. And most of the time they are free. So just give it one good hit. And I saw it move. So this will come apart pretty easily. So I'm going to use 3/8 inch drive tools. They're narrower, allows you to fit them in better. Put my 13 millimeter socket on there. And then I use a piece of pipe again to create some leverage. Okay, and then slowly apply the pressure, and the bolt will start moving.
Okay, and we're just going to fast forward through removing the front 2 bolts and then turn our attention onto the rear bolt.
Additionally, while I'm back here, pull and disconnect my ABS harness.
Remove the clip from the backing plate. Okay, and now we're going to fast forward as we manipulate the steering and just remove those bolts the rest of the way.
Okay, now you want to unseat the hub, and you want to be careful not to damage this backing plate. Generally they come off pretty easy. And as it starts to come out, push your axle kind of to the side. Oops. And feed the harness clip through.
And now that's the end of part 1. We'll stop there with we have the hub off, and if you want to see reinstallation, just check out our other videos for the one with the same name but part 2. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.